Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. How you doing, my Crimsonites? How are you? So y'all know I thought I was on time, right? Because I could have swore. I'm like, oh, I know I said it for 5:35. No, you didn't, ma'am. It's 5:30. Anyway, we are going to get into Jada and Will. Okay. Specifically, Jada. And I wasn't going to talk about Jada. I wasn't going to talk about her. And the reason why I wasn't really going to talk about Jada this time around is because she not really worth talking about, because we know she just say stuff for clout. But I think that we have to, as a group, we have to see Jada for who she is, because Will is not able to see it because he's too close. And a lot of people like, well, Will is a simp. Will is weak. Why didn't he leave? Why didn't he do this? And why didn't he do that? When the facade breaks, because it will, it's going to do it soon, he's going to be the main one kicking himself in the butt, because he's going to think back on how many exits he had, how many ways he could have left, how many ways and how many opportunities he had to get out of there, to see things for what they were. The only thing that I see from Will is that he is the victim of narcissistic abuse for the past 20 or so years. And when it has gone on that long, he no longer understands up from down when it comes to her. And this is all about the way in which narcissists love bomb, and then they create a world where their tactics work on you. And if you've never actually encountered I'm talking about a textbook, it's in the DSM narcissist. This is what I think he's dealing with. Jada is showing every sign of narcissistic personality disorder that I have ever seen. Okay. For all intents and purposes, Will is a battered husband. He's abused. So he doesn't know necessarily how to get out or away from her. Her numerous public gaslightings of him, it has left him disoriented. He's disoriented when it comes to her. Outside of her, he can think rationally. Within the relationship with her, he is unable to do that. And this is because narcs lay groundwork first. Because if they don't do that, they can't ensnare you as a victim. They have to create a paradigm for you to be in, so that their gaslighting works, so that their manipulation works, so that when they emotionally abuse you, so when they talk down to you, when they he's so unstable with her, he doesn't know where to go with her. He has no idea, because she'll want something from him, he'll deliver it, and then she will gaslight him about it and make him feel bad that he didn't do it. Okay? That he did it. The slap is the big thing, because we all remember. And see, this is one of the things that narcs do. Narcs say things and do things, and they're so accustomed to gaslighting everybody that they will say stuff even when there's receipts for you to be like, that didn't happen like that. Well, why are you retelling the story that way? No, that's not actually what happened. We all recall, and we're going to bust her out in a big lie too. But we all recall that slap at the Oscars. We all recall Chris Rock going down the front of the line, kind of lightly roasting everybody. That wasn't no big roast. He said something about Jada and her bald head. He made a reference to G.I. Jane. And then the camera pans over to Will. Will is laughing. He thinks it's funny. When he looks over to Jada, the narcissistic taskmaster, she's looking at him like, what you gonna do about it? I don't like this. See, when you have been a victim of a narc for that long, looks like that are effective. Okay? So he felt the way to overcome the fact that he laughed, the fact that everybody laughed, and the fact that she, quote unquote, feels some type of way about it, was to do the absolute most. So the absolute most was to yell across and say, don't leave my wife's name out your mouth, and then actually to walk up there to slap a man on a night that was Will's night. Now, for a narcissist, that was prime for her. And the reason why it was prime for her is because it was a public humiliation for him on a night where he was big. This was a big night for him to get an Oscar for all of them years, all of those years of acting in this role and that role, to finally have that body of work be rewarded with that industry's highest award, which is an Oscar. She had to bring him low, because one thing narcs do not like. See, one thing a narc will do, they will get somebody that is of value and quality. They don't like messing with people that don't have value, that don't have quality, because they can't get nothing from them people. So they like getting people that have talent, that have value, that have a lot of self-confidence and a lot of self-worth. They like having people like that. They like getting people like that. They get people that have all this potential and all this talent and all this other stuff. The issue with it, though, is that sometimes those people are vulnerable in key ways, and Will is one of them. When you attract a narc, especially one as practiced as Jada is a world-class narc. Like, she's got her manipulation and gaslighting down pat, okay? The problem is that they typically will gravitate towards people who have a need for love and acceptance. Maybe they got abandonment issues. Maybe they got, some other issues. Okay? And the narcissist will hone in on this flaw. They'll hone in on this weakness of yours that you have. Reason why you attract that person. in the first place and able to become ensnared in their traps. The first thing that they do is they love bomb you. That's the most powerful weapon in their arsenal, second only to their gaslighting. I'm going to get to the super chats in a minute. Second only to their gaslighting is their love bomb stage. When a narc love bomb you, especially if you are of a high quality person, they'll love bomb you for a long time. Okay? They will love bomb you for a long time. They will be the person that you always thought you needed in your life. Okay? They don't really have personalities of their own. So what they do is they mirror your personality. So everything that you like, they suddenly like. Everything that you're passionate about, they're suddenly passionate about that thing. You know, they like the same music and they like the same movies and they like all of this other stuff, right? They will love bomb you. They will have all kind of sex with you. They are full of compliments for you. They tell you how much they love you. They tell you how much you mean to them and how awesome you are and all of that type of stuff. They build you. They build you up real high. Slowly, they chip away at it though. Once they're almost done with that love bomb stage, because they can't keep that up, what they start doing is destabilizing you. And how they destabilize you is the gaslighting. So they start scaling back on the person that you fell in love with. Okay? So instead of being real communicative and very thoughtful, they'll stop doing that. They'll stop doing it. They'll pull back on that. They start easing back on that, and you don't know why. You don't know why. You start thinking it's something you're doing that's causing them to do that. And if you ask them about it, they will blame you. They will blame you. Nothing is the narc's fault. Nothing. Nothing is their fault. Everything your fault. Nothing their fault. They can be doing something dead in your face. You catch them doing it in your face, and before you know it, they'll have you apologizing to them for some stuff they was doing. That's how freaky it is. The reason why people get caught with a narc is because if you don't understand how they brain work, you are trying to approach relationships with them from a normal perspective. You trying to work on the relationship. You trying to, fix things. You trying to go back to the love bombing stage. What you don't realize is that they're never gonna go back to that stage. They don't go back to that stage. They give you little bit here and there to keep you going. So they breadcrumb you. But once they completely leave that love bombing stage, now you're going to be gaslighted more and more. They start withholding their approval. They start withholding things that actually you're supposed to be doing in a relationship, and it brings chaos to the relationship. Now, once they've got a sufficient amount of chaos and they've blamed you for it, now you are in a state where you second guess everything that you do. Where you may have once had confidence, now you're not sure. So you're never sure of what it is that you do that they like versus what it is that they do that they don't like. Because you can do something 5 times and they love it. And then that 6th time you do it again, they will, now it's trash. It's trash now. So now you be like, wait a minute, you just like this thing 5 times. So now on the 6th time, it's trash. So it's been trash that whole time. And they'll tell you that. No, I never liked it. I never liked that you did that. I never liked that happened. I never liked that you talked to me like that. I never liked that you bought those gifts. I never liked that you catered to me. I never liked it. They'll tell you to your face. Okay? This is after now telling you beforehand that they loved it. They love everything you're doing. You're doing everything right. Once you realize you're getting caught because you're trying to work on a relationship. You can't work on a relationship with a narc because they don't see the relationship the way you do. They are looking at it purely from a self-serving standpoint. As long as they can get adoration and stuff like that from you, and they can get you to try to always be trying to please them and always trying to get their approval, and you're constantly in that mode of trying to make sure that you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, and while they gaslight you about it, okay, that feeds them. That feeds that energy. They like that. Now, because you were a better person, because you have value, because you have talent, or because people like you, or because whatever, they don't like nobody being better than them. They don't like to be regarded as lesser than somebody. Will Smith is a better actor and entertainer. He is more well liked by the public. He's likely the better parent. And he is perceived as a good person overall. People have a perception of Will that he's a nice guy, he's a good guy. That is his public image. Recall, Jada does not act anymore. Jada does not have an iconic role where she captured that role and nobody else could have played that role. Jada does not have that. Jada does not have a track record of acting and entertainment that people are like, oh my God, Jada Pinkett. Did you see that last project she was on, that last movie she was in, and that last See, nobody cares about Jada's the roles that she get, anybody can be there. She doesn't have this such a wonderful acting chops and presence that people gotta have Jada Pinkett. No. If you also recall, she tried to have a singing career. She had like a little rock and roll band, like a little alternative music band. Do y'all remember that? Put a 1 in the chat if you remember that. If you don't remember it, that proves my point. Not one song. You can't recall. Most people don't even know that she's done that. Now that Willow is singing, they attribute that entertainment to Will. See, she struggled as a no-name alternative music artist. Will is in the hip-hop like legend space as one of the old school rappers. Summertime, Parents Just Don't Understand, even though that was a theme, excuse me, used as a theme or whatever. He had a song. So, one moment. So getting back to it, excuse me, he had Parents Just Don't Understand, and then he had the theme for the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Right? So Will Smith has got that on lock, even though you wouldn't necessarily name him your top 5 lyricists or anything like that. It's not quite like that because he was a part of the earlier era of late 80s, early 90s hip hop. and he was a part of that, that solidifies him in that genre. Everybody knows the Fresh Prince. We know Will Smith, but we also know the Fresh Prince. You put Summertime on anywhere, we know that's the Fresh Prince. Parents just we know that. Even if you put on, and it was kind of low-key corny because it was a part of the soundtrack of Men in Black. If you put Jiggy With It on, how many times did people bust out getting jiggy with it? Not at a party, at some little bootleg party. Like, you see what I'm saying? That was the kind of music he did. So you even understand. You see what I'm saying? So Jada is jealous of all of that. His public perception. She's also jealous of who he is. And this isn't to say that Will is some type of perfect dude, but he's just him. And people have a tendency to like him. And people don't have a tendency to like her. She mad at it. Notice you'll see Will at a Willow concert. Where's Jada's support for Willow? I know a Willow Smith song before I can name you a Jada Pinkett song. Do you understand that? Because her little song went viral. Wait a minute. I think I love my consciousness in a 6 dimension. That went viral on little TikTok videos. Now, yeah, I whipped my hair back and forth. I whipped back, and she was little then. Where was the support from Jada? Because I seen clips of Will at Willow's concert in the audience, like with tears in his eyes, like, that's my girl. She following her father's footsteps. She gonna be an entertainer. Thank you, Mia, for your super sticker, sweetheart. Thank you, Miss Lou Casely, for yours as well. Thank you, Steve. Say, what up, good sister? And Peeps, thank you so much, sweetheart. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you, Eric, for that slap, and his subsequent cancellation was prime narc supply for her. It definitely was. This is her little round that she going on now is another one. Thank you, Well B. I don't know where Will lost his way. Jada told a story many years ago about how she disrespected Will in front of company. He pulled her to the side and told her, don't ever do that ish again. Yeah, and popped her with a newspaper like a doggy. That's when she started really pulling out her narc stuff. She started really doing it then. Because you can't do that to them. That's narcissistic abuse in their eyes. See, they can abuse you and they don't have a sense of empathy, so they don't care about how you felt about it. But if you say anything to them or do anything that they find as disrespect, then that's narcissistic injury. You will be punished for life for that one thing. For the one thing. They'll never stop doing it. They'll never, ever stop. It's sick. That's why it's in the DSM. People throw around that narc word so much that it's starting to lose its potency. But that's why it's a whole disorder. They do not operate nor see the world like other people do at all. Thank you, Pharaoh. So they're saying he don't want to cut her off due to not having a prenup. Will net worth is 350 million. Jada has 50 million. He is in a risky situation. Once it breaks, because she's in a discard phase. We'll talk about that later. She's in discard. That's why she keep coming out insisting on destroying him. She's want to publicly discard him, right? So when they bring you into discard, they break the fantasy world they built for you. They start breaking it, and you become disillusioned in it. It breaks your heart, though. He's going to need years of therapy for her. For this that he going through, he gonna need years. Somebody outside of the circle is gonna have to tell him she's a narc and like prove it to him. He doesn't know why he feel that way. He don't know why. Thank you, T. Sam. Said narcissists are the biggest codependents around. It's actually a weak position to be in. They are weak, which is why you hit it on the head. Thank you again, Pharaoh. Said Jada didn't deserve to be in Ali movie with Will. Of course not. Thank you, Elliot. So remember, Will won the first rap Grammy that he did. Thank you, Ahmed. So Will is down 200 million messing with her. He wants her. He wants her. He doesn't want the pain. He don't know how to separate himself from that. He doesn't know how to extract himself without feeling that pain. That scares him. The amount of heartbreak that he gonna have to get over, but he's gonna have to, because she's gonna break it if he don't. If he can't walk away, she's gonna go into full discard. Because I wouldn't be surprised if this is the first he heard of them not being together since 2016. Lying is another weapon of the narc. They will lie flat out. And we're going to catch her in a flat out lie. Because not only does she do it to Will, she does it to her children. Because having sex or an entanglement with August was done to destabilize her son, Jaden. That's why Jaden messed up. But you see, Jaden don't mess with her. He don't be coming to that red table when it was going. Jaden don't mess with her. He the one that came out and see nobody talked about that. He the one that came out and said she used to give them psychotropic drugs as children. Jaden said that about her. She didn't say that in the interview. She didn't talk about that in her little interview, as she was trying to destroy Will Smith and disrespect him and get clout off a Tupac name, a dead man's name. What she didn't do was address how Jaden told the world that she be giving them drugs. Or she used to when they were young. So having that entanglement with his friend, that was a form of destabilization and gaslighting him and things of that nature. Now, when you see Jaden, you used to see Jaden, and Jaden used to wear dresses, and it seemed like some sugar in the tank there. And now he's coming out to be more masculine. He's coming across. I seen a picture or whatever more recently, and he wasn't in those skirts and all that type of stuff. So I think he may be coming out from the fog a bit from her. So you got to come away from a narcissist altogether if you want to heal. Willow's gonna get there. But we are going to go to a quick commercial break, and then we're gonna expose how she lying on Tupac, lying on that man's name. But after these messages, we'll be right back.
Hello, my Crimsonites and all of my supporters. I invite you to go and get your copy of my new book, Reclaiming the Black Feminine, The Lies of Feminism and the Road to Recovery, on sale now at crimsoncure.com. This is guaranteed to change your perspective and positively impact your life. So go ahead now to crimsoncure.com and get your copy today.
All right, so what you want to do is go to crimsoncure.com, get your copy of Reclaiming the Black Feminine, Lies of Feminism and the Road to Recovery. Links are in the description box. I don't know how many likes we need, but I know we need some. So I owe you a bam, 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 bam. You got to hit the like button, bam, bam. You got to So go ahead and hit the like button. Now we're gonna pull up some receipts. Because you know it's down bad when we all got to agree with Stephen A. Smith about the situation, and I don't be agreeing with him with stuff not even sports. Okay? Okay, so she is doing this little pay attention to me, I'm a narc tour. Before I get to that, let me get to the rest of these super chats real quick. Thank you, Almond said Tupac proposing is another lie. We're going to get right into that lie. Thank you, Jaleesa said, wife, no one describes Will Smith as being Jada Pinkett's husband. We mentioned his accolades. He has notoriety. She does not. Exactly. And she's actually destroying her image more and more and more. We want to be taking out the group chat, Jada. You got us in the group chat. Bald head, small head. Got us in the group chat. We tired of the group chat. We don't like the group chat. We tired of you. Because if Will don't see you a narc, I see you all day. Your daddy must have been a glass maker because I see through you, baby. Thank you, Simon. Said, Kendra, do you think Will is a classic battered woman syndrome abuse victim psychologically? Yes. Yes. It is the way she's doing him emotionally is the way a man can do a woman physically. And then she become battered. She just don't know how to get out of the trap. No, even though she knows this is toxic and this is bad. This is the same thing. Like, because it's like I say, women can fight men emotionally. Men are not as prepared to fight emotionally as women are. That's why a lot of times when a man get into an argument with a woman, he feel physically exhausted. Because they're fighting even though a punch may not have ever gotten thrown, because she's fighting emotionally and he's not as prepared to defend himself against that. Just like a woman is not quite prepared to defend herself against a man's physical onslaught. Same thing, different levels. Thank you. The Real Book said Jada played an evil narc type on the Gotham TV series. Played herself. Okay. So we tired of being in a group chat, bald head, small head. So let me share this Instagram post. This lady put together the timeline because Jada is on these interviews talking about how when Tupac was in jail at Rikers specifically, that she went to go and see him and he proposed to her and she was going to do the time with just lying out of her bald head. Lying out of the side of that bald head. You need to get a wig. They got some good lace fronts, Jada. You need them. You need them. Because if you're not going to have no curves and you're going to still be a boy body, you need a wig. They got good wigs. You glue them down. You got quote unquote alopecia anyway, which is another lie. You glue it down. It look like it's growing out of your head. Baldy locks. She finna get called a name because, listen, We don't want to be in the group chat no more. So let's bring up these receipts.
Lying, and I have the timeline to prove it. Jada is currently on her Pay Attention to Me tour, and she is making all these wild claims, including that Tupac proposed to her while he was at Rikers. Really? The math isn't mathing, so let's take a look. Tupac was convicted of sexual assault charges on February 8th, 1995. From there, he was sent to Rikers prison, only to be transferred less than a month later to Clinton Correctional Facility. And she specifically said she went to see him. This was not on the phone.
Book when I go to see him in Rikers, probably one of the more painful parts, seeing him there, the condition that he was in, and having to leave him there.
Cool. So
now let me pause this for a second. I'm gonna let it continue because it's a little bit lengthy. She had the audacity in this particular interview. You're not gonna see the full clip. But in this particular interview, when she got to that part talking about, quote unquote, how she saw him and the condition he, quote unquote, was in, she had the audacity to sit up there and try to get choked up. How you choked up over some stuff that didn't happen? This is the warped. This is how warped narcs are. See, they start lying and then they believe the lie and then they want you to believe it. So then they will react how they think you should react.
Prior to going into Rikers, Tupac already had a girlfriend named Keisha. He proposed to Keisha, her words, in a September 2011 interview. He proposed to Keisha before he even went into prison. They were already engaged. They got married in April. And in the time that he got sentenced and was taken to prison, Keisha actually moved closer to be by him and be by the prison and saw him on a near daily basis.
When he asked me to get married, he was at Rikers.
So you're telling me that in the 3 to 4 week window that he was at Rikers, engaged to another woman who had moved closer to the prison and was there almost every day, Tupac proposed to Jada. But hey, Jess, you might be saying to yourself, Tupac wasn't known to be a one-woman man. He was no angel. Fair enough. Let's see where Jada was during February of 1995, which was, as we've already established, the only time she would have been able to see Tupac at Rikers since he was only there for less than a month. You see, Jada had already met Will Smith in 1994 on the set of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but Will Smith was married, so nothing happened between them. But in February of 1995, Will Smith was served divorce papers by his wife. 5 days later, on February 19th, Will called Jada and said, "Are you single?" And she said, "Yep." Will said, "We're together now." Jada said, "Cool." And she immediately flew to LA. She flew so immediately that when he called her, she was in Maryland at a brand new house she bought. And she never spent a single night in her new house. That's how immediately she flew to LA. You know, when in all that time did you visit Tupac at Rikers and get this fucking proposal? And for the record, Keisha and Tupac stayed married for about 10 months. They got their marriage annulled about 4 or 5 months after Tupac was released from prison. He was bailed out by Suge Knight. It wasn't long after that he met Kidada Jones. Kidada Jones is the daughter of legendary Quincy Jones. Kidada looks a little recognizable. You may know her sister, Rashida Jones, who played Karen on The Office. Kidada and Tupac were living together and engaged when Tupac was shot and killed. Kidada was the one that was there with him at the hospital the night he died. Kidada was handed his bloody clothes. She was the one who told him, "We all love you," before he slipped into a coma and never woke up. Keisha spoke with Tupac several days before he died because even though their marriage was annulled, they still remained good friends. And I can't help but notice that all of the women who are actually part of his life in a meaningful way are the ones that have just kept quiet. They've kept silent. They've kept their memories to themselves and not tried to use a dead man as their limelight. And the person who's squawking about him the most is making claims that can't even be verified and don't make sense from the perspective of a verifiable timeline.
So many people in that position don't have support.
Right.
None at all.
None. You know,
He got the best.
He did get the best, but not from Jada, because per Will Smith's own words, that him and Jada were pretty much humping all over the world. They were traveling constantly from the first 3 months they were together, all over the world. So Tupac did get some great support, I imagine, from his wife, who moved closer to be with him and visited him every day. And why do I care? Because I'm Gen X. And like any good Gen X person, I grew up on Tupac. We all remember this going down. We all remember where we were when we heard that Tupac got shot or that he died. We all had this fucking hat from Poetic Justice. We're all just sitting here watching Jada spout these lies, being like, do you think no one remembers? Because we all remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers, Jada. Jada's lying, and
Okay. So you heard that. Let's be clear. She was never with Tupac like that. She was never with him. They were never in a relationship. They were never gonna get into a relationship. She, like any other narc, overblows and embellishes on things that might have been true. They may have in passing known one another or spoken to one another or things of that nature. But she's sitting here acting like they was bosom buddies and that they was so in love with each other and it just was never meant to be. And they were star-crossed lovers and it just never panned out. But they, would look into each other's eyes and they knew that they were meant to be together. It was just fate that made it where they couldn't be. All of that is BS, ain't it? Small head, bald head. Ain't that BS? Because she thinks that she can come out and say anything about Tupac because Tupac is gone. And so he's not there to defend himself and say, no, that never happened. That never happened. I didn't do that. We didn't do that. See, I believe her when she said that they did not smash. That I actually believe. Because if they had done that, you would not be able to stop her from going to the top of Mount Everest to talk about that. Okay? So they didn't do that. That they didn't do. But she going to embellish. So if they went to school together, you know what I'm saying? It might have happened that they happened to go to the same school. But what she's going to try to do is act like they was always at lunch together. They took all the same classes together and they was just, you know what I'm saying? It was just love at first sight and they always knew that they needed to be together. See, this is the fantasy world that she has created for herself. And she's trying to brainwash and gaslight everybody else into thinking that this is actually what's going on or that that's something that had gone on. And since this isn't the first time that she's come out to lie on Tupac's name to try to get clout and all of this other type of stuff, to try to be relevant off of the name and the legacy of a dead man, these hyenas always using dead black men to get clout and to get up in life and to be looked at a certain way. Always. Since this is not her first time doing that, if I were either of those women, if I was either Keisha or Kidada, I would just kindly, smoothly shut that down on social media. Ma'am, keep Tupac name out your mouth, ma'am, because what you're not going to do is lie on him. He's not here to defend himself. He's not here to dispute what you are saying, but I'm going to dispute it. And you're not going to go around here because you call yourself got a bigger platform and you're going to go around here and tell all these lies about what you and him said and what he said to you and how close y'all were. You're not going to do that. You're not going to besmirch his legacy because the people that knew him already said he wouldn't have messed with Jada. Had he wanted Jada, he would have had Jada. He did not want her. Probably saw that narc foolishness. He may not have called it that, but he probably saw all that foolishness. And girl, get out of my face. Because you could tell by the women that he actually did pick that he wouldn't have went with old iron board body. And she probably called herself look better than the women, but they wasn't iron board bodies. Jada running around here built like a whole 2x4 piece of plywood. Girl, if you don't stop, only Will want you. But you're too much of a narcissist to even deal with nobody. I can't wait till the smoke clear from Will's eyes so he can have the necessary what he needs in order to completely walk away. Completely walk away. I don't care if it costs him half of what he got. Completely walk away from her. And never look back. Running around here looking like Mars Attacks. That bald head, no. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You need a lace front, ma'am. Now, all of a sudden, everybody's supposed to be trying to, I don't know what she think is supposed to be happening with this little tour. Like I said, we tired of the group chat. Sick of it. Will does not come out to expose everything going on in his relationship. So you were supposedly not with him since 2016, but so why you look at him like that last year when Chris Rock was quote unquote making jokes? Then she was messy again. With the slap situation, talk about, I still don't know why he slapped Chris. So you mean to tell me from the day he did that last year to this day, you and him have never had a conversation about why that went down? See, it's the line and the gaslighting. And she likes going out here talking crazy, and now because Will is a bigger star than her, now everybody is looking for his response. She make a huge mess involving him, a mess on his name and stuff like that. Now he going to feel himself responsible to like clear his name and clear his image. She liked that kind of stuff. Because now he got to try to pick up the pieces publicly. So then she'll get to sit back and that demon inside of her get fed off of his humiliation and her being messy. Not only was she messy about, talk about how she didn't, I don't know why he did that. Now she running around here talking about put Chris Rock on blast. Well, he was trying to get with me when he thought me and Will was getting a divorce. I mean, what are you talking about? Snap pea head. What you talking about, sweet pea head? Head running around here look like a popcorn kernel. What are you talking about? He was trying, and then when I told him no, and then he just apologized. You know what I'm saying? Now that man may or may not have even done that. For all we know, she pushed up on him and he rejected her. For all we know, because she don't mind having an entanglement. So for all we know, Chris Rock swerved her. Like her, I actually like Will, so we're not about to do that. Because I don't believe Nothing that come out of her mouth. Head looking like a whole bag of Orville Redenbachers. Head looking like an unpopped bag of pop secrets. Anytime you got Stephen A. cooking her, what do you get out of this? What's the benefit of you going around trying to tell people that you not wasn't with him since 2016 and you don't know why he slapped Chris Rock and your entanglement, trying to make yourself look good with the entanglement? Well, we wasn't together like that. No way. If that were true, why didn't she say that at the red table talk when her and Will was sitting down? Why didn't she say, yeah, I had an affair with August Alsina, but Will, you know, you and me not together. You know we not together. We legally on paper, we still married, but you know, we've been separate for a few years now. So, you know, whatever you doing, and whatever I'm doing. Why even do that? Why even do that, whopper head? Malted milk ball head. Why even do that, whopper head? Head looking like a pack of sixlets. So just want to humiliate people. She bent on destroying that man. She trying to drive him to the point where he may do something to himself. Cherry Chan is mad. Alexander the Grape in them is upset. Thank you, Well B said black men are mad because a white woman brought this out. I don't know why they would be mad about that. She was dead on the money with the receipt. Thank you, Tokyo said, do you think Will might be rainbow and is using Jada as a beard and that's why he stays with her? I don't necessarily think that. I don't think that he's necessarily rainbow. We're going to come back to that, what I actually think about that, but I'm going to come back to that. Thank you, 39 Dina, for your contribution, sweetheart. Thank you again, Farrell said Pac and Janet seem more likely than Jada and Pac. Right. Thank you, Alex said, did you see that celeb ID reached out to Jada? Jada refused, saying you will not be holding me accountable. I did not see that. I didn't know that. Wow. Okay, thank you again. Steve A says she looked like Mars Attacks. That's one of my favorite movies. Yeah, Mars Attacks is hilarious. Thank you, T Sam said big baseball head. Yeah, someone looking like Caillou. Oh, Caillou head itself. You know Caillou real bad too. We tired of the group chat, Caillou. Thank you, Mac701. Thank you so much. Thank you once again for your contribution, sweetheart. Thank you, Dean said Megamind. Exactly. Thank you again, T Sam said walking, talking meatball head. Exactly. So we done with it, Caillou. We done with the foolishness, Caillou. This scar phase is ugly. This about to be ugly. Because she gonna keep doing this. She's gonna keep doing it until he either cut her off, or like I said, I don't think that she would mind him doing something to himself. I think that would greatly satisfy her, because then she would be able to claim clout on his name, and now she's the grieving widow and da 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 da. She would certainly attempt to use it at her advantage. Now, talking about whether or not I think Will is part of the rainbow, I don't. But let me take it off of him for a second. Y'all have heard plenty of stories about sometimes in Hollywood, person A will have talent, and then person A will have so much talent that you know they're gonna be a star. But you also got to keep person A on some type of leash so that they never get too big, or that you're able to cancel them, or you able to pull the rug out from under their feet at any given time. So talent A is super talented. They super, whether they singing, rapping, dancing, acting, whatever it is, person A is very talented. What they will do is put person A in a very compromising position where person A don't really know that that's happening to them. They might have gotten drunk or drugged, and then person A wakes up or comes to or gets their senses back, and now the individuals that set person A up now has the receipt that person A did this. So if you ever get out of line, or you ever we can always put this out about you and we will destroy you. It can be anything. Okay, use your imagination. It could be anything. So therefore, you have now control, or an ammunition of blackmail over talent A. So talent A can move around. Talent A can do all the stuff that they are doing, but talent A had better know where that line is at, because if talent A overstep that bound, they're gonna threaten. And if talent A don't get themselves back into together, then talent A will be destroyed by the way they're gonna spin these narratives about talent A. They tried it with Michael Jackson, with the whole kid thing, but they never could prove that. I personally never believed that he was doing things with children. I don't believe he was doing that. In many ways, he was a child himself. So he related to children. He actually said that he relates to children better, because children don't have all these ulterior motives. They just kids. They just are who they are. And he appreciate that because they're not around him for nothing else. At first, they're like, oh, Michael Jackson, but then they're normal around him. This is something that he craved, for people to just be normal around him. Don't think about that he Michael Jackson, because he gets that everywhere. So he would have him around, and then it was become not a big deal that he's Michael Jackson. And that's what he liked. That's what he wanted. So I never believed that he was doing that stuff. I don't believe that he was doing that kind of stuff at all. But he also was doing things that they didn't like. He was making business moves that they didn't like. See, they really started plotting with him when he bought the Beatles' whole catalog. See, that's a power move. That's a power move on that chessboard. Because they was already mad because they didn't really have creative control over his music. He was such a talent. He was such a once in a lifetime like musical genius that you can't have no record exec coming to him talking about he need to be putting out this kind of music and he need to be putting out that kind of music and it's got to sound like this guy. You can't do that. See, you can't do that to Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson is Michael Jackson. You got to let him get in the studio and do whatever it is he's going to do, because no matter what somebody else come up with is not going to be better than what he actually does. He's got a sound. You can't mess with it. You cannot mess with it. So they couldn't do it that way, control the creative and control what he said and what kind of music he put out and stuff. They're just the same as Prince. They couldn't control what kind of music. You see what I'm saying? They're mad at that. These men are too talented for that. These ain't the sexy reds and all that kind of stuff. You got to tell them what to do and tell them, what kind of music to have and all that kind of stuff. You can't do that with Mike. Then he was making the Sony move. No, baby, I'm getting all my masters. All his masters? All Michael Jackson's masters? Michael Jackson's masters. And all the money that generate. Because who ain't still rocking to a Michael Jackson song? Who don't still rock to Mike all over the world? Mike's music is timeless. It's timeless. They just don't make them like that no more. I got a whole Mike playlist. Don't play with me. I likes me some Mike. Thriller, the dance break of Thriller is still the pinnacle of dance breaks. Do you understand? You got people in 2023 that was not alive when Thriller dropped that be trying to do the Thriller dance. So that's what I think of Will. I know I brought it all the way back. If y'all can pick up what I'm putting down with that. So no, I don't think Will is rainbow. But I'm just going to leave it like that. Let's see. Thank you, Max 701 said if Pac wasn't as great as he is, she wouldn't be talking all this nonsense. Exactly. Clout chasing. Thank you, Ruminant said what offends me is that the alien from Earth Final Conflicts is trying to gaslight the rest of us too. Thank you. Thank you. That's what made me really ultimately talk about it. Because the gaslighting, we done, Caillou. Thank you, Real Book said handler prenup clause if she divorces him. I don't know. Thank you, Charles. Said so proud of you, sister. My wife and I are hoping to do more for your growth. Kiss the hubby. I will kiss the hubby. Thank you, Charles. Thank you again, Rumen. And said Mike had half of Sony's entire catalog at the time, and the This Is It tour was gonna fulfill his obligation to Sony. They had to delete him. Exactly. So we gotta understand. No, I ain't got no jail yet. See, I get y'all don't want my jail. Danica nice. She put you in jail. I'm gonna create a dungeon. Yes. Yes. Kyrie, yes. Her full discard phase is going to be the disclosure of all his secrets. She's going to try to completely obliterate him. She's gonna do it. Once she gets to the point where she's in full discard for him, it's getting there. It's getting there because she's publicly distancing herself. Oh, we haven't been together since 2016. That's an overlay for the underlay. So that when she do what she do to him, she'll be able to play victim and be like, well, we were distant anyway for years. It's not like we've been living together and acting like husband and wife. So her full narc discard gonna be ugly. We think we not liking it now. The only problem is it's gonna be a Pyrrhic victory because she's gonna burn herself trying to burn him down. Trying to burn him down, she gonna burn herself down. She gonna complete the job, and it's not gonna go the way she think it's gonna go. Thank you. If they was even to be even so called a friend. So she's going to try to completely destroy Will. I hope he gets away from her before she does that, because he's gonna need a lot of therapy. He gonna need a lot of therapy. They gonna need family therapy, like excluding her. Like he gonna need it on his own, and then he gonna need it with the kids. Cause she gonna tear everybody down. Them kids going down. When a narc is done and they get to discarding folks, everybody gonna go. Everybody. She gonna throw them kids under the bus and all kind of stuff. She gonna say a lot. She gonna do a lot of damage on her way out. It's not gonna be pretty at all. She gonna do the best she can. And I think that's what's so sad about it. And I think that's what so many people see in how crazy this is. Like, why are you doing this? It'll come to light because, like I said, narcs don't operate like normal people. They operate the opposite. So she getting ready to blow everything up. She done set the detonator. She done set the C4, and all of that. She done set, the little wire, the white wire don't cross the red wire, all that good stuff. And then she gonna step outside and she gonna call that little flip phone that's gonna blow everything up. Only problem is she not gonna be far enough away from the blast and she gonna get caught. So, you know, it's sad. It's sad what she's doing and how anytime you got me agreeing with Stephen A. And Stephen went in. Stephen did 25 minutes of just so anyway, I want to jump down in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.